Hello and welcome to Friday's Nots Today with me, Mark Dennison. Thank you for joining us. Here's what's on the show for you. Firstly, we'll be hearing from the families of the Nottingham attack victims on the second anniversary of their tragic deaths in the city.
We're here in peace and love today, but have no fear that whatever it takes, that monster will be held properly to account, as will all of the people that failed.
We'll have more on that in just a moment. Plus, we've been up to Gedling Country Park to see a new memorial in memory of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
The Queen being a practical lady, we looked initially at doing a statue, but then it was because she was so practical, we actually thought perhaps two commemorative benches would be a great way that people could also engage with them as well and then spend a moment thinking about the Queen.
Also in the news, how Reform have picked up even more seats on the County Council. The party secured victory in a Mansfield North by-election on Thursday, meaning they have now an even stronger majority in the council chamber. More on that in just a while. Plus, it is Friday, so that means the latest and final instalment of our weekly drag artist segment. Today, we'll be meeting competitor Climax to hear why she thinks she's got what it takes to secure the crown at the Nottingham Drag Pageant next week. In sport, we'll be looking ahead to the final game of their inaugural season for Nottingham Forest Netball. Chelsea Pitman's side take on Leeds Rhinos at the Motorpoint on Sunday, having faced a mixed first season in the competition. All of that and lots more coming up on the programme. But firstly, today marks 2 years to the day since students Grace O'Malley Kumar and Barnaby Webber and school caretaker Ian Coates were killed on Nottingham streets. It was a day that sent shockwaves through the city and beyond and left scars that are still being felt today. On the anniversary, their families and two of the three people also hit by Valdo Calicain in a van in the city centre came together to show unity, retracing the steps of Ian, Barnaby and Grace and celebrating their lives. Lucy Marshall was there.
2 years on, but still the scars left on a city stunned by a day of tragedy. June the 13th, 2023. 3 lives lost, but countless more changed forever. Grace O'Malley Kumar, Barnaby Webber and Ian Coates, killed at the hands of Valdo Calicain. What followed was a post-mortem of public sector failings. A healthcare trust that failed to properly monitor Calicain's paranoid schizophrenia, police forces not acting on warrants for his arrest, and families still searching for answers and awaiting the start of a statutory public inquiry into how he was able to roam our streets. Yet, on the anniversary of their killings, the spirit of our city and the fight for accountability live on. Today, they showed their continued unity, walking as one to the locations where all three lost their lives. First, here on Ilkeston Road, where Grace and Barnaby were killed as they walked home together from a night out. Flowers laid in tribute and families mourning together as they have done for the past 2 years.
This is the most unendurable pain that we have to suffer every day, every minute, every second. But to be here, where my beautiful boy and their beautiful, brave daughter were literally minutes away, and a monster that cowardly hid in those trees over there took their lives. And I want to say that we're here in peace and love today, but have no fear that whatever it takes, that monster will be held properly to account, as will all of the people that failed and continue to fail.
They were joined by hundreds of people, including friends and local residents, before walking to Magdala Road, where Ian Coates was killed by Calicain. That was where he stole Ian's van, which he used to mow down Wayne Burkitt, Marcin Goronsky and Sharon Miller in the city centre. Wayne and Sharon attended the walk, which was given the support of Nottingham City Council leader Nagat Khan. She reignited calls for a long-lasting memorial to Ian, Barnaby and Grace and said, 2 years on from those horrific events, I can't begin to imagine what the families, as well as those who suffered injuries, continue to go through. The hearts of everyone in Nottingham go out to them. As the sun shines bright on the anniversary of one of the city's darkest days, light remains for these families as they wait for the truth and accountability. Lucy Marshall for Nots TV.
On to other news now, and 2 men have been charged after an off-duty police officer was assaulted at a city shop. The officer was assaulted when he investigated a disturbance at the Sainsbury's local just after 10 p.m. on Sunday. He discovered 2 people arguing with store staff in a suspected shoplifting incident before being assaulted by both men. 38-year-old Ian Doyle of no fixed address and 47-year-old Philip Davidson of Chedworth Close in St Anne's were charged in connection with the incident. They'll appear in Nottingham Magistrates Court later this month. And Reform UK have picked up 2 more seats on Nottinghamshire County Council after winning the Mansfield North by-election. The party, which already has control of the authority, secured both seats in yesterday's by-election, which was called following the death of trade unionist candidate Karen Seymour in the lead-up to last month's local elections. It means the party now have 41 seats out of 65 on the council, and the final seat is up for grabs in the Newark West by-election on July the 3rd. Time for our first guest of the show now, and it is Friday. That means it's time to catch up with the latest drag artist vying for Nottingham's crown in next week's drag pageant. It's the final week of this segment. So far we've met 7 competitors who think they've got what it takes to win next week, but now it's time to meet our final entrant, Climax, who recently won one of Nottingham's biggest competitions and is here to take Nottingham by storm. Let's meet her now. Hello.
Hello, Mark.
What an outfit.
Indeed. Off to pick up some apples.
Right,
That's
yeah,
what I'm doing.
just sort of nipping
Yeah,
out.
just popping out.
This is your Friday shopping
It is indeed.
kind
Well,
of
Monday
outfit.
to Friday.
Monday
You
to
don't
Friday
want to say
shopping
Saturday
outfit.
to Sunday.
Understood.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the London competition, by the way.
Thank you very much.
What was that like?
It was incredible. It was intense. It was a lot of work. It was about 8 weeks of consistent work, and it's the most I've been able to push Climax before. And I guess it worked out pretty well.
Tell us about your act, if you can, on daytime TV. What kind
Okay,
of...
I
what
actually
kind
can,
of,
I would say.
a
I'd say
few.
Climax is most of the time a family-friendly girl, which is good
Okay.
for TV like this. She sings, she moves very slowly, and she sort of... I think the room changes a little bit when she goes on stage. It's a lot of theatre, it's a lot of storytelling, it's engaging, I'd like to hope.
Right. And what's your story with drag? How long have you been doing it?
I'd say professionally for like 5 years, but I did start looking into drag when I was about 14. And then 2 years later, the lockdowns happened, and then I had all this time to spend my furlough when I worked at H&M, and I was just buying loads of wigs, trying them on, FaceTiming my friends, and just getting in drag and sitting in my lounge.
What's the best thing about it? Because it feels like drag has really kind of found a mass market in recent years, partly because of well-known TV shows, of course. But what's the best thing about it from a performer's point of view?
Getting out of it. Taking
Really?
it off. No, I'm kidding. I'd say the people, like making a community. I feel like I'm just starting to make a really nice community in London, and especially in Notts, I feel like I've got a real community of like friends that do drag, and it's like finding a queer family, I think, like a home away from home. It just feels very easy, which is nice. When you have people like I have to do it with, it's always my favourite part. Yeah.
And talking of the community then, I wonder, because I mentioned the 7 other competitors in the final, are any of them your friends?
I hate them all.
Good. That's the spirit we want.
No, they're great. They're great. They're great. I know Synchro. Me and Synchro have done drag a few times together in London, and I met the other contestants at the shoot when we shot the promo. And everyone seems really lovely. I've not had the chance to meet them a lot because I live in London, but yeah, they seem great. Yeah.
So you live in London now, but you're local,
I'd
really,
like to
aren't
say
you?
I've cemented myself as an honorary Nottingham drag queen. Yeah, I'd like to
Well,
say
you're
so.
originally not too far away from here anyway.
Yeah,
right?
I'm from Lincoln originally.
the
I started
A46.
drag. Yeah. But ran away from there as quickly as I could and started to do drag in Nottingham.
Right.
And then ran away from there as quickly as I could and started to do
Back
drag
to
in
London.
London. Yeah. But I love it in Nottingham. All the drag here is great.
What's the format for the pageant? Do you know? Have you been given a brief?
We have a 5-minute performance slot, or 4 minutes. Don't quote me. Liv might tell me off that I've got it wrong. Mine's under 4 minutes. 4-minute number, and then we have to present a runway as well. And then it's like a lip sync smackdown. So there's a random wheel that picks 2 queens. Those 2 queens will lip sync to one song. The other 2 queens will lip sync to another song. One person from each lip sync goes on to the final lip sync, and then one of those people will win, which will be me.
Okay, all right. We like this confidence.
Yeah, well,
this
she
is
needs a friend, she's lonely.
So that's the actual crown that you won in
from the
London.
Next Drag Superstar.
So where will the other crown, if you win the Nottingham one, can you wear 2 crowns at once? Can you?
I'm sure I'll find
like
a way.
a stacking system.
Yeah, I'll find a way. I've got 2 shoulders. They could always be shoulder pieces.
True.
I will have to put another shelf up in my house though, which is, I'll have to find more room.
But what a reason to do it.
I know.
Talking of lip syncing, by the way, what is your go-to lip sync track?
Oh, I like a lot of, recently I'm into a lot of Shirley Bassey, hint, hint for the pageant, don't get too excited. And a lot of slow ballads, a lot of emotional, like theatre ballads. The top 2 lip sync for the competition I won in London was My Way by Shirley Bassey.
Right.
And I'll always remember, like, that's
Like
the only time
the Frank Sinatra original? Or
yeah, it was Frank Sinatra originally, but I think Shirley
Bassey covered it as well, yeah.
I think Shirley Bassey does it all better.
Do you think?
In my opinion.
Well, okay. And what about my drag name? Because obviously your drag name is Climax.
Yes.
We've only just met.
We have.
Well, I just wonder if you've got any kind of inspiration, what I could be called.
Well, you could be maybe Climark.
Mark?
And then I could be your drag mother and you could be part of the House of Max.
Well,
maybe.
this has taken a turn, but I quite like that.
I think it works well. We could be a duo.
Climark. All right. Listen, good luck for next week.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming in. That is the climax of our drag series. The pageant takes place at Nottingham Arts Theatre next Friday from 7:30. To see all the interviews with the competitors, catch up with the past 7 Friday editions of Not Today on demand or on our YouTube channel right now. Time for a short break. When we come back, we'll be having a look at what you can watch on the big screen and the small one as well over the next few days. We'll be back after this. Hello, welcome back to Friday's show with me, Climark. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's happening in Not Today. Firstly, Ashfield social housing tenants have been warned about a doorstep operation, talking them into signing legal documents. Ashfield District Council says cold call operators have been targeting people with outstanding repairs by posing as council workers and trying to encourage them to sign up for contracts. One resident told us they'd been targeted by a woman claiming she was a council solicitor, but the authority said tenants should contact its officers directly and that staff would never show up unannounced. Next, and striking healthcare assistants at Nottingham's 2 hospitals are taking their fight for back pay and banding to Parliament. The Unison-backed key workers have been on strike this week as they clash with Nottingham University Hospitals Trust over back pay dating beyond the pandemic. They claim they deserve more money for extra responsibilities above their banding, but the Trust says it's given them a fair and reasonable pay offer that's been accepted by 4 out of 5 unions. Now they've taken their fight to MPs in Parliament to try and secure support. Today, one-of-a-kind memorial dedicated to the late Queen Elizabeth II was unveiled by local residents, schools and the Lord Lieutenant Veronica Pickering. The work consists of 2 unique benches and trees purposefully designed to encapsulate Her Royal Highness's life and legacy and how it lives on in the local community. Jack Sims has more.
A view that's fit for a queen. Today, Nottinghamshire's first memorial, dedicated to the late Queen Elizabeth II, was opened to the public at Gedling Country Park, coinciding with her official birthday weekend. This project was brought to life thanks to community collaborative efforts. That includes volunteers from the Friends of Gedling Country Park and children from schools across the borough. Today, the site was formally opened by the Royal Representative, Lord Lieutenant Veronica Pickering. This memorial consists of 2 park benches created by local artist Richard Janes. He designed them with key pieces of royal imagery, such as the Grand Duchess of Vladimir tiara and the throne, with smaller designs being drawn by students from local schools. For the Friends of Gedling Country Park, the benches represent the late Queen's practicality and grace.
The Queen being a practical lady, we looked initially at doing a statue, but then we saw that it would be really difficult when somebody's lived for that long to correctly define what that statue should be. Whereas because she was so practical, we actually thought perhaps two commemorative benches would be a great way that people could also engage with them as well, and then spend a moment thinking about the Queen. And the tree that we planted earlier today is an Acer campestre red shine, which has got the red leaf on it. So we've got the three native national colours, the red, white and blue included in our garden, but using it in a natural way.
And for the pupils of the Carlton Academy, the memorial allows the children to celebrate culture through creativity.
It's about cultural capital as well, and getting students to have wider experiences, but actually understanding the importance of creativity and how that enriches everything in life, so from their educational experience to future life.
Also in attendance was the Mayor of Gedling, Kyle Robinson-Payne, who says the site has given the community a royal reminder of the late Queen's charitable causes.
The Queen did so much for charity over her life and gave so much to the country. In a way, it's helped to bring the community together and give the community an opportunity to have something to be proud about, a great way to get young people interested in the work that our late Queen did.
Visitors can now take a seat and reflect on the life and legacy of the nation's longest reigning and most beloved monarch. Jack Sims for Notts TV.
Time now for our final chat of the show, and we're about to catch up with our resident entertainment guru, Gav Squires, to find out what you can watch on the big and small screens. He's wearing a fantastic shirt. Just been admiring it.
Thank you very much.
It's a winner. When you're done with it, I wouldn't mind inheriting.
Well, it might take a while. It's relatively new, and I'm rather enjoying it.
It's fine. Thank you for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
So we're going to look at 2 films and 1 series. Couple of films firstly. Do you want to introduce the trailer?
So this week we're starting with How to Train Your Dragon.
Toothless. It's okay. I won't hurt you. Everything we know about dragons.
It's become quite a thing, hasn't it, this whole franchise?
Yes, and I think as well, we're seeing a lot now of these live-action remakes of animated films. So, How to Train Your Dragon series, beloved set of movies, and now following in the footsteps of a lot of Disney remakes, we're also seeing a live-action version of this. And I keep kind of flip-flopping with this, because on one hand, I really enjoyed the animation, the original How to Train Your Dragon. And this is essentially kind of like almost a shot-for-shot remake. So on one hand, if you like the first one, it's brilliant. But on the other hand, if you like the original, you've kind of already seen it. There's kind of nothing new. So on one hand, I'm like, this is great. If it's a 4 out of 5. And on one hand, I'm like, oh, it's a bit pointless. It's kind of a 2 out of 5. So I would say if you were that kind of age where you kind of grew up with these films and now have kids who kind of maybe you've not introduced the animated ones yet, this is a perfect time to go and see the new one.
So a good entry point.
But I think, like I say, if you've seen the original ones, it's really not doing anything new.
Okay, fair enough. Second trailer. Do you want to do the honours?
Next up, we've got The Phoenician Scheme.
At this moment, rescue workers are laboring to recover and identify the remains of Zsa Korda, international businessman, maverick in the fields of armaments and aviation, among the richest men in Europe. This was Korda's 6th recorded airplane crash. He is survived by 10 children, 9 boys, 1 nun, his daughter Liesel.
I've appointed you sole heir to my estate, which you may come into sooner rather than later.
Why? It's been 6 years since our last meeting.
I have my reasons.
Which are what?
My reasons? I'm not saying.
I was looking at the cast list for this. It's pretty impressive.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. And some of the actors that are in this, like Tom Hanks, William Dafoe, Bryan Cranston, have incredibly small parts. To the point where you're like, how did you manage to get such a massive name to come in and do like less than a page of dialogue? So this is the new movie by Wes Anderson, and as a director I absolutely adore, because he's one of the few directors I think working today where you can watch like 30 seconds of one of his films and you know instantly that it's him. So the way he blocks out the shots, the colour combinations he uses, they're just so instantly Wes Anderson. And this is kind of very similar to a lot of his films. It's a little bit quirky, a lot of sort of strange characters. And if you like his movies, you're going to like this. But if you don't, and he can be a little bit of a Marmite director, this I don't think he's going to win over any new sort of new people over to his side. Personally, I love him. I thought this was fantastic.
All right, well, we'll take that. And last but not least, we go from 2 films to a series. This is a little taster of Mobland.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray. We shake the right hands, break the wrong ones.
I think we have a situation developing.
We don't ask, we take. And when someone forgets their place, I've got a man for that.
Problem solved.
My wife's the brains behind the charm. She holds me together. That makes her.
Another stellar cast with this.
Indeed. So this is the new Guy Ritchie TV series, and it's Guy Ritchie kind of returning to what he does best, this kind of like gangster, mobster kind of thing. And yeah, so we saw there Tom Hardy, who is just absolutely outstanding in this series. But it's also got Pierce Brosnan in, doing a really odd Irish accent.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this accent.
And especially odd because like Pierce Brosnan is Irish, so you'd have thought he'd have been a bit, and it's just kind of, and it feels like an interesting choice by the actor. Kind of, it's a little bit all over the place, and Helen Mirren's also in it, also doing a slightly weird accent. But if you can kind of get over those accents, genuinely, this is a really good series. One of the best things, like I say, Guy Ritchie's very good at the gangster stuff. When he tries to do other things, not so good, but he has kind of nailed this series.
Okay, all right. There we are. Maybe watch it on mute, doesn't it? Gav, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. Have a good weekend. Time for your sport now, and we will start with netball as Nottingham Forest prepare for their final game of the inaugural Super League campaign. Chelsea Pitman's side take on Leeds Rhinos at the Motorpoint Arena on Sunday in what will be the last game of the season. It's been a pretty good year for their first one for the Reds, who've won 6 and lost 7 of their 13 games so far, including big wins over East Midlands rivals Loughborough Lightning. Sunday's game gets going at 4 p.m. Tickets still available if you fancy popping along. Cricket, the Outlaws will be looking to bounce back from defeat tonight when they take on Derbyshire at Trent Bridge. The Outlaws narrowly lost to Yorkshire last time out, despite a strong batting display by Joe Clark. They take on the Falcons a week removed from a dramatic victory in the reverse fixture, which saw a power cut almost halt play before the Outlaws went on to secure the win. That one starts at 6 p.m. We'll have the result for you on Monday's show, of course. Time for a look at your picture of the day. This one of Belvoir Castle, taken by Nicola Dawson. Very nice Belvoir Castle, of course, out in the Vale of Belvoir. Don't forget to send us your pictures and photos, tagging us @Notts_TV on Instagram. Weather-wise, a lovely warm day today. Temperatures staying on the high side. Lots of sun over the weekend as well. Temperatures down to 16 degrees overnight tonight. Tomorrow, a mix of sunny spells and the odd bit of cloud. Highs of 24, lows of 13. Sunday, slightly cooler, equally as bright. Highs of 21 and lows of 13 degrees. That is pretty much it from all of us here on Notts Today. Thanks for watching. Al's here after the weekend to do it on Monday. Bye-bye.